internet?
Yeah. Drop my pen. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
Hope y'all having a wonderful Saturday morning. I don't know what we're gonna have today. Is the rain gone?
I think it is.
Is it?
Although I haven't in detail looked. I got to say the date. May the 4th be with you. At 8:05 in Alabama.
Oh, goodness.
I never heard that until I got like 40 years old.
Yeah, I think it's just because of social media.
You think that that's what changed it?
I think that's what changed it. Yep.
It's like it was never thought about until...
Yeah. We never said it in school.
No.
Never
heard it. And that's when Star Wars was...
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Well...
Never.
Introduced, I should say.
Never... Somebody...
was thinking.
Weedy.
Not weedy.
Weedy. That's a weedy saying.
That is a weedy saying. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
So here we are. And I told Jason it looks like we don't like each other, so I'm coming a little closer.
Oh.
With my coffee cup.
Well, the tables, people can't see it, but the table hits our legs, so we can't.
Yeah, we kind of got to go out to the side to make our legs fit in. Got Dee Dee here this morning. She has just eaten her breakfast, and I hope she's settled in for the long haul. I started thinking maybe she should have went out, but she's already been out one time, so hopefully
so.
She's eyeing something.
Oh, goodness.
She's got to dig around and make this spot just perfect.
Oh, man.
All right. So we got a little rain last night.
We did get a little rain, not much of anything. Speaking of rain, I want to say we're thinking about Lester and the Morrows over there. I talked to Lester yesterday a good bit, and so thinking about them guys over there, and also Daniel and what they're going through as well. Both our friends and families over on our YouTube friends and families that we become really good friends with, close with. They're kind of dealing with some terrible
events
and weather related, and we're thinking them. Now, I do want to say this. Now, I've had several people reach out to me and ask would I be willing to start a GoFundMe for Lester, and I spoke to Lester about that, and he told me no. And he said if they decided if they wanted to do a GoFundMe, that they would do it as a group for themselves. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that I did speak with him about that, and he told me not to, that they got it handled, and that if they decided to do something like that, they would do it as a group or as a family. So,
and then Daniel and the Oklahoma crew they're taking donations, but it's through
their local bank. And I actually shared that live. Daniel posted that information on our Facebook page, or y'all can go to Daniel's pages and see that as well. They didn't want to do a GoFundMe because people can start scams on GoFundMe and you don't know exactly where the money's going.
That's right.
So thinking of all those guys out there. Whew, man.
Devastating times.
It really is.
I can't imagine, not that one's compared to the other one, but the Morrows, they knew the water was rising.
Yeah.
And they knew that they had to make a decision, and it's either, you do or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Move your animals. And that is a big deal, because what if the water doesn't rise? And, and you did go to extremes.
Right.
So I don't know.
It's moving animals is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It really is.
So just thinking about all those folks.
Yep.
This morning.
That's right. So, but we're going to be here to at least try to put on some smiles.
That's right. Try to make your morning a little bit brighter.
That's right.
No matter what you're doing, and hopefully we can accomplish that.
That's right. Coffee. We have been doing the voting on the butter caramel versus the Southern pecan, and we got the results back. And I wanted to tell y'all
how close it was.
One of them started pulling away, and because it was staying like within 20 to 25 votes between them. But one of them started pulling away. We got roughly close to 1,500 votes on it.
That's pretty good.
Yep. And Butter Caramel did win the voting. It won it by, gosh, I can't even do the math in my head.
Is it 7%? Is that the difference?
No, that's not the difference. Let's see here. It won by 80.
80 votes.
It won by 80 votes. So, which means that we will have the butter caramel available at all times. And we will bring the Southern pecan back periodically.
That's right.
Yep. So it won't be gone. So the Southern pecan fans, it won't be gone. But you just have to kind of watch, and we'll make announcements. So, and Ryan's already working on some things already. He sent me a text yesterday, so stay tuned for that. But the winner was Butter Caramel.
So the voting has closed now.
The voting has closed, and Ryan wanted me to let you guys know there is some Southern pecan left.
Okay.
So
and once it's gone, it'll be gone for a while.
It'll be gone for a while until he brings it back.
All right.
Yep.
Well.
So that is the results there on the coffee.
That's right. Oh, I thought you were doing something.
Mm-mm.
So, y'all, last night was the first Friday in our little town of Clanton, Alabama. So yesterday, y'all know I said I was so looking forward to the lobster truck.
That's right.
Yesterday, I had 2 boiled eggs and some popcorn, and I was saving my big appetite for last night. So my mama said she wanted to go with us, which is a strange happening, but we were grateful that she wanted to go.
That's right.
So we got, I was bush hogging, and I stopped what I was doing just in time to go get a shower, get dressed, and we all loaded up, and we went to downtown Clanton. And I am starting to think that the event really doesn't start till 6 o'clock, although there is nothing in writing that I've ever seen what time it starts.
Right.
So we're going to be there at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
And we're going to have dinner, and we're going to have a grand old time.
Mm-hmm.
However, the rain chance was like 60%.
Yes.
And the radar had a lot of sporadic rain on it. So we get downtown and we start walking, and the first place I'm going to go is to the end of the street and take a left where the food trucks are.
Yep.
So I did just that. Well, my mama's like, oh, I'm going to get me some boiled peanuts while we're walking down the street. And I'm thinking to myself, no, just come on. We got to go. So she stops at the peanut place, and the peanut man says, well, they're not quite ready yet. And there's people still setting up along the street. So that's what made me think, we may be a little bit early. So I get to the end of the street, and I look to the right, and there's bouncy houses and stuff that I'm not interested in. And I look to the left, and there's the food trucks. And there is the taco truck that was there the last time. There's a snowball truck that was there last time. But guess what? No lobster truck. No lobster truck. And I was disappointed, to say the least. I had my heart set on some lobster, and whether it be I think I was going to have the roll, the lobster roll.
A lot of you guys suggested the roll.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I had my heart set on. I was going to have the lobster roll, but there was no lobster truck there. None whatsoever. And my smiling attitude went quickly to a frown because I had
oh goodness.
I had watched my diet all day, working up for my evening. But it didn't stop there because I was about to starve.
Yes.
So I knew that Calfee Cattle
Mm-hmm.
was not going to be there, but they said that they were going to drop off some of their products in a jewelry store.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them that I wanted to try was beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
It's if I'm not mistaken, it's made there on their farm.
Mm-hmm.
And my stomach was eating my backbone. Isn't that a saying?
That's pretty good one, yeah.
So Jason and Mary Carl had gone elsewhere, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to make it until we can find some food. And so I went in the jewelry store and I got my beef jerky, and it was packaged in a little shrink wrap thing. And so it had an opening at the top, and I pulled and I pulled and I pulled, and I couldn't get it open. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm just about to starve, and I don't know where Jason and Mary Carl went. So I found this little antique iron fence up against a railing, and I said, I bet that'll open it. So I took the jerky and I put it on that iron fence, and when I did, the whole pack opened up. But luckily, none of it hit the ground. And by the time Jason found me, there was one piece left. One piece left. I'd eaten the entire pack. It wasn't a very big pack, but I'd eaten the entire pack. It was so good, and it held me over until we tried to figure out what we were going to eat.
It was good.
But to say that I was disappointed that the lobster truck wasn't there, I'm over it now, but maybe the first Friday in June I'll get to try the lobster truck. But I'm going to be prepared this time. I'm going to be prepared for the fact that it may not be there.
You may have to get the taco truck.
Well, I just wasn't up for. I had my heart set on that.
That
lobster, and I could not just throw that away for some Mexican food. I just couldn't do it. So as we put our minds together as to try to figure out what we were going to do, where we were going to eat, you got a 14-year-old with you, and she's like, I don't want that. I don't want this. And so we wanted everybody to be happy.
That's right.
Mama wanted a good salad. I had then decided that I wanted a steak. How you go from lobster to steak? Maybe the jerky got me into thinking I wanted a steak. So we ran some names by our, thoughts, and nothing seemed to hit until we got to one. We all agreed where we were going. So we take off and we go a pretty good distance.
Yeah.
On the other side of town. And by this time it was 5:40?
Yeah, something like that.
5:40. And we pull into the parking lot and it was full. We don't go out to eat a lot. So when we do, we don't really realize how crowded places can be. So we were like, whoa, all these people are here. So we finally find a parking spot and we go up to the door and there's people waiting outside. And I said, y'all just wait and let me go see how long the wait is.
Yeah.
So I get inside and the whole herd, Jason, my mom, and Mary Carl, they're all with me. And I'm like, I told y'all to wait outside. So 20 minutes. Okay.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. That's reasonable. So we put our name on the list and we go sit in a waiting room. And 45 minutes later,
they still hadn't called her name. By this time, everybody in the building that had put their name down ahead of us had gone. Yeah, they were getting impatient.
Impatient.
And then Mary Carl, y'all know Mary Carl.
And so we were like,
being 14, 45 minutes was a good.
It was
for her not to fuss at all, but she was like, Daddy, we're leaving at this time.
Well, she got her watch and she said, okay, 5-minute countdown. If we're still here in 5 minutes, then let's leave.
We're gone.
So got down to 1 minute and she was telling us,
she was standing up.
It's 1 minute to go. And I said, Mary Carl, what are we going to eat if we leave here? What are we going to eat? Because we have peanut butter at home and maybe 3 slices of bread. And that's not going to cover us all. There's no way. We can't split a peanut butter sandwich 3 ways. We left. And while we were sitting there waiting, I developed a hankering for Arby's.
So we went from lobster truck to a barbecue steakhouse. to Arby's.
And of course, Mama was okay with Arby's. Jason was okay with Arby's.
I don't care where we eat.
I was okay with Arby's, and we go to Arby's. Except for when we order, we get out of the drive-thru.
We just wanted a regular Arby's.
We pull over to fix our sandwiches while we drive. We're going to eat while we drive.
Yeah.
Jason and I both opened our sandwiches to find melted cheese.
Cheese and an onion bun.
And that is not what we
just wanted a plain Arby's.
That's not what we wanted.
I couldn't tell you the last time I've had Arby's.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had it either. And where that came from, I don't know.
Have been years.
No, I mean the thought of
I don't know where it come from.
So my mama got plain Arby's. Hers was right because she didn't get a combo. I'm starting to think I ordered the wrong combo.
You said a number 1.
Well, I think it was a number 2 that was the regular.
Oh.
And so, needless to say, we ate it, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't what we had our mind set on.
That Arby's sauce just don't go well with that cheese.
It just didn't. It just wasn't. It wasn't a big turn on for me. Some people may like it. Obviously, if it's a number 1.
Must be popular.
You would think that the regular one would be the number 1.
Must be popular.
Oh, y'all. So anyway, we came home and I said on the way home, I said, you know what? I said, I didn't even have to stop bush hogging. I could have finished the field. I could be done bush hogging. And both Jason and Mary Carl said, what difference does it make? It doesn't matter. You can do it tomorrow. So I decided I'd quit pouting and
goodness. That's right.
Turn that frown upside down.
And we did.
Yeah.
We did. I want to say that well, one thing was I saw a few people ask about flavored decaf coffee. I didn't mean to change the subject.
No.
But I don't want to forget. And me and Ryan have talked about this, and he's still on the fence about it. It's because the decaf doesn't sell. I don't know. It may not be
feasible for him.
Economically feasible, but we are looking into it. So the decaf fans, just bear with us on that. Me and Ryan are going to keep talking about it and see. We may even just try it to see how it goes.
Well, it may be that he could make, 50 bags and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll talk to him again about it. And so that right there. And then somebody wanted to know, where can you get the coffee, Brooke?
No, they didn't.
I saw it come up, and I don't know if everybody loves to hear you say it.
I think it's a joke.
Or B, they maybe didn't know, but I'm guessing A.
It's www.coghillfarm.com.
That's right.
That's where you can get the coffee. And it will be delivered to your door from Ryan the Roaster.
That's right. So where me and Mary Carl were,
while I was opening my jerky,
while you were not trying to get that jerky open, was that we were talking to the owners of Peach
Theater.
Country Theater. Now, I know most of y'all have no idea what this is, but this is a local theater that was built. Gosh, I don't even know when it was built. It's old. And this awesome family bought the theater and they're restoring it. And y'all, this is the theater from out front right there.
So it's in pretty rough shape, and
it is in pretty rough shape. It's even got the cameras right there, the projector cameras.
Wow.
And he told me that you can actually still get reels and play the movies from that camera.
Like up-to-date movies?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so it'd be doing the crackling and stuff?
He said the latest one that when he was checking into it, the big movie, which I think we may have watched a whole 2 minutes of and stopped, but some of y'all may have liked it, was Barbie.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't care for Barbie. But he said that was a big movie, and he said they could have got Barbie on the reel. On the reel.
Huh.
But anyways, it is a fascinating story, y'all. They're on Facebook. Peach Country Theater.
Is it Country or
Yeah.
Peach County? Peach Country Theater.
Yep.
It's a picture of that building for their profile picture.
It is, and I want to show y'all this. So this is absolutely cool. So they're restoring. So they're like peeling back stuff, and they were one area that they were working on was painted over, and they were peeling back the paint, and they found the old concession stand where they had painted like what they had at the concession stand.
Uh-huh.
And so they're keeping it like it is, and they're going to try to, tinker it a little bit more, but I think they're going to put a clear on it. But it is really, really awesome. And they plan to hope to be open at some point. They got a long ways to go, y'all. But plan to be open. And I couldn't be more happier because me and Mary Carl love, that's what I was telling him. That's one thing that me and Mary Carl love to do is go to the movies. And we will be there for every movie.
Well, the fact that they are going through the restoration process and they're updating it on the Facebook page as they go may interest some of y'all. You may want to follow along and see what they find. And
it is. It's really, 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 really neat. They post little videos. He was telling me that they had this flooring and they peeled back the flooring and then it was metal and they peeled back the metal. I don't know. And then it was tongue and groove. And they're like, oh, look, this is the original floor. So they started doing some stuff and realized that there was something else up under there. So they peeled it back and it was metal again. And they peeled it back and it was the original tongue and groove floor. So there's no telling it. I think it became a church at some point. So there's no telling what all is done, but it is absolutely unreal. I don't know if they're on Instagram or not. I know they're on Facebook, but it's a pretty cool thing, and I love following them.
Well, it's been a long process so far.
It has.
Since they first purchased it and started this restoration. But what is more to be expected? I mean, it's not going to happen overnight.
No. For
somebody to give 110% and stick with this project, kudos to them.
It is a cool project. So I hope they stick with it and they get it going. So
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
But y'all go check them out if you're interested in that kind of thing. That kind of thing just fascinates me. I love restoration and old houses and all that kind of good stuff.
I do too.
Peach Country Theater.
Jason and I, before we got married, our dream was to buy an old house downtown in Selma. And, mainly my parents were like, do you know how much you will have to?
Yeah. He told me the same thing. He said, you have in your mind what it's going to take to restore or work on something ending. Like that. He said it's been way more than they thought, but they love it.
Yeah. And at the time, we were go-getters and we were interested in restoring things, but I don't think to that extent.
Yeah.
I just, as soon as we got one thing fixed, it'd be something else. And it's probably for the best that we did not go that route.
Yeah, I know it.
I saw somebody say, are there any emu babies or goat babies? Well, of course, Fifi had her babies.
That's right.
Y'all probably all know
I've
that.
Seen them.
No Capri baby. And Nugget's children are due to hatch May the 25th. Now, that is the 60-day mark from when we saw him first sitting.
That's right.
So yesterday, I went and visited with Mr. Nugget, and he did not get up, which is typical, but he did drink. Now, he's not too interested in eating, but he does drink. And he has water available at all times. And I take the food and offer it to him and take it back. So that way, there won't be any ants or anything getting near him.
Or the geese.
Yeah. I don't think they would care. But anyway, he's still in it for the long haul. I mean, and I'm going to tell y'all something. Well, I got a little video of her. I'll share it. Goldie is still so very proud that Nugget is sitting, and oh goodness, I'm not going to find it. Goldie's there. She is. I don't know if I can even see it. Can I make it?
There you go.
Yeah, look at Goldie and look at her strutting.
Y'all see her?
We told y'all she looks like she's on a runway. And y'all see that front area of her, how it just swings, and she's kind of walking sideways.
That sideways walk kills me.
Yeah, it does. I mean, she is proud, and she is not gonna.
Boy, she's working it.
She is.
She works it. I'm telling y'all.
And that's not just something that we call. This is her every day.
Oh yeah, I mean, every day.
It's got to be something to do with the children are coming.
She looks like she needs some bright red stilettos.
She does. She does, with the pearl necklace hanging down. Very, very proud.
Hitting it.
Very proud. And
go Goldie.
Yeah, that's right. If she has 17 little babies that come out strutting it like her,
she may quit strutting if she has 17.
She might.
She may hop that fence.
She may be trying to build up her legs right now so she can get over the top of it.
Oh man!
Oh, but y'all, we can't help but laugh when we look over and we see Goldie doing her strutting.
Yeah,
to say the least. But she's just she is what she is. She's proud of herself.
She so is, y'all. And she does that a lot.
She does. I mean, she does it a lot. Now, there are a lot of times when she's standing still, and of course, she's got her pose going. But when she's walking, she's strutting.
Yeah, she does that a lot.
She does.
A lot. What do baby emus eat? Probably grass, seeds, bugs.
Yeah. Well, ours will be supplemented with rat-type feed.
Right.
But in the wild, I'm sure that they, they eat a lot of bugs. And they got a set of wheels on them as babies.
Yeah.
So they can move pretty quick.
Really fast.
I see people are still saying how many eggs are going to hatch. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. I don't know. I mean, Jason and I both said 7. But
oh goodness!
I just I'm just hanging out.
I said 7. That's what you said too.
Yeah, we both said 7.
7.
So I don't know. That's enough. So Mary Carl and I had to go to the dentist this week in Selma and have our teeth cleaned.
Yep.
And I went by and saw the beekeepers, Mr. Roy and Miss Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel gave me something to show you guys. And I thought it was very, very interesting. This is comb that bees made. And this is the shape that they made it. There was no form. This is just that's how it was hanging. It was down like that. And this is one, the holes are a little bit bigger.
Yes.
This one was going to have eggs in it, and this one was not. And I don't understand all that. But the fact that
you can see the top one, the holes are bigger than the bottom, and that the bees made them that way because this one's going to hold eggs, which in turn would have held larvae and then baby bees.
And she had a box of it. And when they open up boxes, if they don't have enough room on the frames, then they start building their own comb
That's
out.
Right.
And I was just fascinated. And she said, well, you can take it and show it on the live.
Look at the size difference. That's incredible.
Isn't it though? And the shape of it. I mean, and look how intricate the
it's
detail
exact.
is.
It's absolutely exact. That is an octagon. It is precise.
It is just too cool.
They're amazing creatures. Unbelievable.
And she told me some more facts about it, but I'm sorry, I can't remember it all to pass it on. But I did think that was just simply amazing.
Oh, man.
Just amazing. And I mean,
you could fit this one inside of the whole size.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows up on camera or not.
I think it did. I think it did.
Cool to say the least.
It is very cool to say the least.
And I tell you, Roy and Rachel are so full of knowledge that when they start talking bees, it's kind of a foreign language to me. of course, I picked up on on the comb and how that works. But
it's a hexagon. I'm sorry, 6 sides, not 8. Somebody corrected me. Okay. You're right. I didn't count them. It looks like an octagon, but it is. Is it hexagon? I guess it is. Hexagon. It is a hexagon.
It's very interesting.
6 sides, not 8.
Okay, you stand to be corrected.
I stand to be corrected, which is common.
What? So that you stand to be corrected?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
Oh goodness!
I tell you, bees are just a phenomenon to me.
And they're rocking and rolling. I can't wait. They will be checking the hives soon, in the next few days, and I'm so curious.
Well, we have honey supers on 8 of the 10 hives. Isn't that right?
I think so.
And those bees are rocking and rolling, bringing in.
They're rocking and rolling. Even the new hive that Roy caught, it's doing well. I mean, they're going in and out.
And as you drive around our area in Alabama, you can see different things that are blooming, and the bees are just in heaven right now.
Yeah, they are.
It's just amazing to me that how far they travel, and they know where to get the stuff to bring back to make that wonderful honey and all that good stuff.
G&G says that Tony stands corrected a lot too. So
is that right?
Yeah.
So don't feel bad,
That's
Jason.
Right.
Don't feel bad. So I had a funny the other day. I went out and fed the pigs, Gus and Loretta. They're first on my stop for my morning, taking care of animals if Jason's doing something else. So I go out there and, there's a bowl hunt every day. Every day there's a bowl hunt. Well, there's usually one right up next to the fence. Mm-hmm. So I get that bowl knowing that it's probably Gus's bowl. Well, Loretta's is just a bit more of a challenge. So this particular day I said, I don't see your bowl, Loretta, and I'm not feeding you on the ground. So I'm either going to go get another bowl or you're going to have to show me where it is. Mm-hmm. So she and I traveled around the pasture together as she's, not telling me where it is. And right. I just was convinced she had taken it in the porta hut. I go all the way to the back of the pasture, no bowl. I was just about to give up when I looked in the swimming pool and in the bottom of the water was Loretta's bowl. Y'all, I'm telling you what. And she looked at me and she just said, like, I could have told you it was there, but I wanted you to walk around and try to find it.
Oh, man.
Oh, I could have got her good. I mean, I had been looking for a good 10 minutes for her bowl in the pool, in the bottom. Sunk,
so you know what that means?
What?
She was laying around in that pool eating.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure she was. And Gus was the whole time. He was like, "Come on, can we just eat already? My bowl's right there."
Exactly.
You could have fed me while you were looking for her bowl.
Exactly.
Oh, goodness.
They're saying that she washed the dishes.
Yeah, she sure did. So last night I went and I put up the animals. Uh-huh. And Tip, who is our weather goat, mm-hmm. who's a bit rotten, mm-hmm. who's a bit, well, I don't know if bully's the word, but maybe bully is the word.
Well, their goats are herding animals, and they're just like chickens and everything else. They got a pecking order. So, somebody, if it wasn't Tip, then somebody else would be the boss.
Tip's the high man on the totem pole.
He is.
So what I like to do is to put all the goat feed in the trough mm-hmm. and bring Tip into the stall. Well, Peaches is asleep by this time. She has no concern as to what's going on.
That's right.
And so I use her bowl to feed Tip in, mm-hmm. and I shut the door. So that way all the other goats can eat in peace. There's no pushing, there's no shoving, and there's just complete goodness. Mm-hmm. So I fix Tip's food and I shut the door. And I go outside and I feed the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And I come back in and Tip's standing there and he's pouting and he's got his lip out because Peaches has got up from her sleep and had pushed him out of the way to eat his food.
I can't believe
he let her.
Did he let her? But Peaches,
y'all, he was just standing there, and he was like, she got up and she's eating my food. So I had to get him and take him outside the stall. And needless to say, Peaches put up a little bit of fuss.
I bet she did.
She can be kind of noisy at times.
She did.
But when I took that food away from her, she let me know she was none too happy. But that's never happened. She never gets up.
So you know what this means? This means Peaches is smart. Pigs are smart. So she's going to know it every time now.
Well, that just means that I have to feed Tip outside the stall in the middle of the barn versus in the stall beside.
Right.
We've got that stall ready for Capri, but she's not needing to go in there quite yet.
Right.
So I have an option. But I said, as many times as I've done this and Peaches has never got up, today, she proves me wrong. She proves me wrong.
Oh my goodness.
She got up and she decided she wanted some goat feed. And I just can't believe he let her. He's such a dominant goat to the rest of the goats.
He is.
And to be scared of little, 1 foot tall Peaches. I mean, like, what was she going to do to him? All he had to do was butter and she'd have gone back. But he didn't try. He just let her. I'm just glad I came in when I did.
Glad you did too. Peaches would have ate all his food.
Yeah, she would have. Tip would have really been sad then.
Oh, me. Well, I guess you guys saw that we have started back on the fencing, and we're getting that one area where the Moo Mansion is, so we can separate animals if need be. And you cut the grass over there, and there was a lot of people wanting to know, why in the world do we cut that grass when we could have easily just let the donkeys in there, the goats in there, whoever in there, and they would have enjoyed it and ate it. Well, that is our plan eventually, but we can't do that right now because our utilities are exposed over there. The power company's meters right there. The panel box to the barn is right there. The air conditioning units, on the little ground right there. There's some plumbing right there. So we got to get a little fence area or a little fence or a barrier built around that stuff before we can let the animals over there, because we don't want anybody to get hurt.
And not only that grass was a little bit too tall for anybody to get any nutrition out of it. Yeah. They would have just walked through it and went to the bottom where the new stuff was coming up versus eating that tall stuff. And I am in the process of bush hogging the pasture where Moody and Mildred will go, because they cannot have that much grass when they're first put out there. What did Mr. Johnny call it?
I can't remember.
Anyway,
he's a cattle guy.
He's a cattle guy, and you have to be careful when you put cows on that much new grass.
Yeah.
Plus, it needs to be at a manageable level.
Right.
Versus, so tall that you can't see.
And it grows so fast.
It grows so fast. I guarantee you, I will need to cut it again before they're moved.
I believe so. Founder, bloat. That's not
what he said.
But I mean, we know what those are, and that is all those can happen.
Yeah. That's not what he said about the cows. It was something
I never heard of.
Anyway, they need hay as well as fresh grass when they're first put on that much pasture to keep their gut in order. It's not bloat. It's it wasn't anything that we had ever heard of. Not any normal term.
That's right.
But we're getting closer and closer and closer to getting those guys put out there.
Yep.
I was thinking of something and I don't remember what it was. Something about when I was cutting that. I know what it was. So I'm out there bush hogging and I'm thinking to myself, if Mildred and Moody did not have a way to be shut up, I just don't think that those two cows are going to be able to manage that much grass. I think we're going to have to cut it. Even when they're out there, I think we're going to have to cut it because I think it's going to get so unruly that I don't know. Anyway, my thoughts were, if they were out here with me and I was cutting this grass, you know how Mildred acts
Oh gosh.
when there's a side by side or a tractor.
Oh my goodness.
We will have to have an area to contain them while I cut that grass in that little area that you know.
Well, you were
I thought it was crazy, y'all.
When I first told you what I wanted to do, I could see the look, your body language, and everything, and I could tell you're like, why in the world is this man wanting to do this extra work?
I thought it was crazy. I did not say you're stupid.
Oh goodness.
And I did not degrade him in any way, but he's right. My body language probably told it all. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought, why do we need to do this? It's not necessary. But as I was driving on the tractor yesterday, all I could see was me with that bush hog, which is, you know, I mean, it could be a dangerous piece of equipment.
Oh, it could be very dangerous.
If it's going and you got an animal near you.
Yes.
I thought I would be so scared using that bush hog with Mildred. I don't know if Moody would do it or not. He probably would if she was.
Yeah.
Frolicking beside me.
Yeah.
And that blade turning. Yeah. Yes, I must admit, I was wrong. That area is going to come in perfect.
Yeah, it's going to work out perfectly.
It's going to come in perfect. We're going to need a way to contain them in certain situations.
Yep. And you were your body language wasn't as bad when I told you what I wanted to do. When I told you I wanted to put that third gate coming in there too.
Right.
You were like, I don't think we can just drive on down, but you love the gate now.
Yeah, I thought my thinking was we can just come through the barn.
Yeah.
And Jason said, well, what if it were to be like it is now? I mean, we've got the bus in there because it's not going, it's on jacks. And then we've got the camper because we can't get the camper out right now because the bus is blocking it. Well, that may happen again. You know, what if something else is there blocking the door and we can't drive through
right.
I'm completely satisfied with what you suggested. And now that the work is, on the way to being finished, it's much better.
It's much better. It is much better. And we're not through with the head chute either. I've seen several people say it needs rails.
We know that.
Yeah, we're not through with that at all. So
one step at a time.
We just got Brant to set it up for us because he had the equipment there and we put 6x6 posts in the ground.
That's right. We needed him to set those posts while he was here.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't pick that big heavy thing up to bolt it in there. So that was just while he was here, help you do that.
That's right.
And Holly has been utilizing the Moo Mansion.
She loves it.
It is so much cooler under there versus, you know, when we've been out there working, we found ourselves going under there.
Yeah, we have.
Because it's obviously shady and the temperature's 20 degrees
It definitely, cooler. Yeah, it's way cooler.
It's way cooler.
Way cooler.
Yeah, I think everything about it has been perfect so far. And we're well on our way to getting finished.
I saw somebody else ask it, and I've seen it in the videos too. And that is hay storage. What are we going to do about hay storage, especially once the Moo Mansion is going to be given to the cattle? And we do plan to build just a roof only type structure that we can put hay bales in and put like our equipment in, or attachments more say, but eventually
in the future.
So
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yep.
So one day we will hopefully have an area for hay storage. Yes, a couple of bales could go in the barn, but we don't want to do that if we don't have to. So hay's available throughout the summer. It's really on into probably August, September when they start, stop baling.
Right.
And we will have to worry about somewhere to put it. And we will hopefully have an answer by that time.
Hopefully.
Do you have problems with rabbits eating your garden?
Knock on wood.
Well, we were coming home. When was it? Thursday?
Someday.
And you saw a rabbit running across the yard.
Carl saw a rabbit.
Yeah, next door. And Jackson said they're probably trying to get to my garden. But so far they have not found the garden.
Knock on wood.
And the deer haven't found it either. And I think the dogs do a good job with.
I think so too.
Rocky, he's not so good with being alert. I think he just depends on his brother. But Bandit's gotten to where if there is anything going on, he lets us know about it.
Yeah, Bandit is a great watchdog.
I was taking care of the chickens the other morning, and he was just going nuts. And I was like, what is he? I mean, I stopped what I was doing, and I got out of the chicken enclosure, and I went to go see what he was looking at. And in the front area of our garden area that's fenced in, the peahens and the peacocks were there, and he was raising Cain about it. It caught his eye, and he saw something that he didn't think was supposed to be there.
I will say this. It's hard to tell at night because we're not out there, at
2 o'clock
in the morning. But the daytime, he's the better watchdog of Foxy and Rocky. I mean, he is on it.
He is. He's very alert, and when he sits and he just watches, he's so. I mean, you can tell he's just zoned in.
He is. He'll sit on top of the hill up there, and he's just like a statue, and he's just sitting there, and and his head just turns so slow.
And a lot of times Rocky doesn't even go to where Bandit is.
Yeah, Rocky will be on the porch laying down.
That's right. And I don't know if that has to do with what Rocky went through in his health, or if it's just like any other kind of dog. You have some that are better watchdogs than other ones.
Gina, I think that's right. Jeannie, Jeannie. She just said that she has a problem with her neighbor's peacocks coming over and poking holes in her tomatoes. I don't know if you can do this, but the best way that we kept peacocks out of our garden at our other farm is I put the flags around the garden. So if my fence was 4 foot tall, and this may not be, it may not, but I was going to suggest it for just in case. So my fence was 4 foot tall. So I put in some taller post in.
T-post.
And I made it another 2-3 foot taller. So I went from 4 foot to 7 foot, and I just draped flagging around it all the way around. And it gives the illusion that your fence is now 7 foot tall. And did it work 100%? It did not. But for the most part, that did an amazing job of keeping chickens, ducks, deer, and peacocks out of our garden at our old farm.
We did everything. We had a sprinkler that was motion activated.
Yep.
To cut on when it sense motion in that garden, and that didn't seem to bother them.
No,
it's almost like they figured it out.
They figured out where they could walk, and the sprinkler wouldn't trigger or hit them. So you could see where they would eat the garden where the sprinkler wouldn't hit.
We tried everything, and those flags seemed to be what was the determining factor for keeping them out of the garden. Yep. And of course, the more there are, the smarter they seem to get. That's because they're working together.
And it was an inexpensive. I'd buy them off Amazon cheap. And then after a year, they would kind of get, wore out or whatever. And you could just replace them or just leave them up there until they were completely disintegrated. But it worked well. It worked really, 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 really well.
It did. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Yeah, Jason, you can imagine the anger that he felt for having that much area for the birds to roam.
Yep.
And they wanted to get in that garden. They had food available. It wasn't that they didn't have food. It was just that they were playing games with him, and they wanted to make him mad by getting in his garden, taking a peck off of every tomato in the in the fence.
I feel your pain. Absolutely. Before we had that garden, we just had that little raised bed garden, and I will never forget. It was, y'all, I had tomatoes everywhere. The best tomato year ever for me. It was absolutely just awesome. And the next day I went in there, and there were holes this big in every single one of them. At the time, I had no idea what caused it. And then while I was in there fuming, I saw peacock feathers on the ground, and I knew exactly what caused it.
At that time, we were threatened with having to find a home for the peacocks.
Yeah, that's right.
Jason, I can remember like it was yesterday, him telling me we're either going to not have a garden or we're going to have to get rid of the peacocks.
One of the two.
One of the two. And I just blew it off because I knew there would be a solution.
Oh, man.
And thankfully there was.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Somebody said, I put a scarecrow in there too. I didn't do
anything.
They'll get used to the scarecrow.
Yeah, you have to move that every day. And we put a hawk. An owl.
A fake owl. Yeah, all that. They'll get used to it. Now, I will say this. Older gentleman several years ago told me to use fake snakes to keep the birds out. But you do have to move the fake snakes.
Right.
And y'all probably saw those in our older videos when we were at the other farm too. I just don't have a problem with birds. I think they just got so much diversity here that my garden is just secondary. But but the fake snakes, but here's the thing about the fake snakes. I don't care how many times you go out there and move them and whatever, at least 3 to 5 times a week, you're going to scare the dickens out of yourself with those fake snakes.
I could remember when we lived at the old farm, Mary Carl had a little friend over, and they had been in the garden, and her little friend Caroline came taking off running out of the garden. And I said, "What is it?" And she said, there's a snake in the garden. And, at the time we got kind of tickled about it because it happened to us as well as the little friend that she had. But
so many times.
She was not going back near that garden. There was a snake in there.
I mean, it never failed when we were living at the old farm. I would do a video in the garden, and there would be 100 comments. Did I see that snake?
Did you see that? There was a snake right there by your leg. There. And we didn't think anything about it because they were always there. We didn't think about addressing it in the video itself. So if y'all saw my video about me finding the little mallard babies, well, I didn't find the babies. The mama and babies found the pond. Y'all, I'm here to tell you, it is crazy looking to go and look in that pond because those babies just zoom everywhere.
They don't stick by mama.
They don't stay by their mama
at all.
They are all across that pond and they just zoom everywhere. And that was like, I noticed that they were not in the nest anymore. And then they were in the pond, and that had to have been less than 8 hours.
Yeah, that was quick.
So she had to have been thinking all along, as soon as my children are born, I'm taking them to that pond.
Straight to the pond.
Because it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me how the mama can be one place and all those babies just be all over the pond. I guess, they feel safe.
I guess so. We don't have any gators in there. So
not yet. No gators yet. But I did see a goose trying to steal some of the babies.
Oh, goodness.
That first day that I noticed them down there, there was a goose, and she was doing her best to try to get those babies to come with her.
Them geese love to raise babies. Oh, my gracious,
and they will
love
steal them.
They will.
They will steal them, and they will take them as their own.
They'll absolutely do it.
But they weren't able to get those babies away. They were interested in being on their own.
Are we going to put fish in the pond? Yes, we are.
Eventually.
That's just kind of been down on our list. Like getting the fence built around the utilities behind the barn. Just kind of been down on our list. But yeah, we are going to put fish in there. Mainly brim. I think that's brim and some carp to keep the algae and stuff down.
Yes. That's what I think too. And eventually we would like to have a little pier, a little dock. But a girl can dream, right?
That's right.
A little bit at a time. Nothing's going to get done overnight.
Yep. And we've been thinking about now, Lester's got one, and I've been doing some research on it, and that is setting up a windmill to run the fountain and aerator with no power and all that. And we got this. We're in a great spot because we have wind pretty good bit.
We do.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned it to me, I thought, well, that's an ingenious idea.
Mm-hmm.
So as time goes on, we have projects in mind, but
yep.
we work from sun up to sundown every day, and we just can't burn the midnight oil to get some of these projects
That's
done.
right.
Well, we got a list of things. One day we'll get to it.
That's right.
Well, what do we have planned for today?
We need to cut grass.
Cut grass. It did rain last night, so I want the sun to shine a little bit and get that grass dry before it'll get caught up in the bush hog and make a mess if I don't let it dry some. But
I need a weed eat.
Oh goodness! Well, it's only going to be 84 for the high today.
Yeah, it was 90 yesterday.
It was 90 yesterday, so the rain brought a little bit of cooler air,
good,
I think.
Good.
And we may appreciate that out in the blazing sun today. I must share with y'all something that I tried this week that I've never had before. Fina, Mary Carl's pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
She laid her first eggs. Oh, it's probably been 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And so Mary Carl, takes the eggs from her because they're obviously not fertile. And so she laid 2 more this past week. Well, Mary Carl decided that she wanted to cook Fina's egg.
Mm-hmm.
She has no mate, so there's no possibility of them being fertile, which when she first said it, I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I just want to try it. So she and I fried up Fina's 2 eggs. And as Mary Carl was tasting it and eating it, I thought, well, I got to have a bite of that. I've never had a pigeon egg.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you hear of very often.
Yep.
So I had a bite of it. And Mary Carl asked me what I thought about it, while she had already said she thought it was an 8 out of 10 as far as the flavor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When I took my bite, I said it's a 10 out of 10 because to me, it tasted no different than a chicken egg. So I can now scratch off eating peacock egg, not a peacock.
Pigeon
egg.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said peacock. I haven't eaten a peacock egg. Scratch off eating a pigeon egg. It was quite tasty.
It was good.
But the only problem is they're only about that big around.
Very little.
So it's not anything that you could continuously have for breakfast but it was a neat thing to try. You didn't have a bite of it.
I didn't have a bite of it. It wasn't enough to go around.
It wasn't enough to go around. She had 2 of them and with both of them fried up, it probably wasn't that much. So it was enough for me, Carl, to have a couple of bites and me to have a bite. But it was interesting.
Interesting to say the least.
That's right. It was very interesting.
How are you feeling?
I am feeling quite well, I must say. So I had my second injection this past Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was feeling better at that point. When I gave myself a second injection, I was already had some good days. But I really think that the medicine is working. Now, I'm taking Humira. And every 2 weeks and I take an injection. So from what I read, it can help people in as little as 2 weeks, or it could take as long as 12 to 16 weeks.
Right.
And I'm feeling better. So that tells me that it's working.
I will say this. You've had 0 naps in mid-afternoon.
That's right. My energy's back.
You were laying down every day just about around lunchtime, and it would maybe 3 or 4 o'clock before you get up.
Yep. So no more of that. And I've been helping you
yes
do some of these projects that need to be done. I really think that I'm on the mend. I think that the medicine has been a blessing. And while, I didn't
right.
We want to go through everything we can natural before we put something in our body that's not meant to be there. And I was to the point to where I had to do something.
Right.
And it was either continue to just basically give up my life
Mm-hmm.
to the bed and feel terrible every day or give it a shot. And I did. And I'm so thankful.
I've seen several people say that they took Humira and their whatever went into remission.
Well, it's not something that works for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I really did not think that we were going to hit on a medication that worked at the first.
Right.
I thought my appointment is not until when? August, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. That was right.
Yeah. 4 months is what he set me up to see again. So he was going to give it that long, for it to work. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's working, because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
No, your energy level has been 100 times better than it was a month ago.
Yes.
I would say that.
And I had in my mind that nothing was going to help me. I had in my mind that I was just going to have to learn to live with the way I was. And I think that that's done a 360, because in this, 3 weeks, 3 weeks from starting, I'm just, and I expect it to continue to improve. If I'm already seeing, seeing results now, then I expect it to continue to improve. And your doctor told you, he said, without saying any names, he has a patient that's on it.
He had 2 patients
that you would never know.
Yes.
Had anything wrong with them.
One was a full-fledged cattle farmer, and that's what this guy did every single day. And then another one was somebody that he went up against in jiu-jitsu or taekwondo, whatever it was. And he pretty much whipped my doctor every single time.
And he had an autoimmune disease and was taking the same Humira that I take. So while it doesn't work for everybody, I am thankful that it seems to be working for me.
Yep.
There's no way that I'm having this many good days in a row, because it didn't happen.
Right.
I may have 2 good days and then I was back to bad. But I'm much better.
Yep.
I'm much better, and I'm so thankful. So thankful. Yes. Having a 14-year-old that enjoys the outdoors and enjoys nature, and me doing the same thing, me enjoying, being with her and doing what she does, to tell her I can't do that and I don't feel like it, was just a heartfelt, I just, it's just so hard to not do things that you want to do with your child.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Feeling better.
And I'm thankful.
Still no 100% diagnosis, but they know that
they know it's
autoimmune. You got inflammation. You got all everything. But then that's why this is working.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
I did have an X-ray done of my hands, and it shows like rheumatoid. I don't know how to say it. Rheumatoid arthritis in my hands.
Yeah.
But the genetic testing that is done for that to show that gene either being present or not was negative, but that doesn't mean that I don't have it.
Right.
So that's the diagnosis we're leaning towards.
So anyways, we got work to do.
We got work to do.
And
I'm just thankful to feel like getting out there and doing it.
That's right.
So is your coffee empty?
I think I got 1 swallow left.
Guess what? Mine is empty.
Yours is empty.
I enjoyed every bit of my coffee this morning. I do every morning.
Yep.
So you guys, raise your glass. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself, because we are.
Absolutely. And as always, y'all be good.